I want to do a little video of something I stumbled across on the internet of how to make your own slugs. I've been shooting all my life and I've never heard or seen this, but a good bit of info on the YouTube if you want to see some other people doing it. But so anyway, so if you're on a budget or whatever, a slug is about $1 a piece. But just using candles, cannon wax, whatever, crayons, and I just went and bought some real cheap crayons. I don't have any kids, so I didn't have any crayons laying around the house. But a lot of people may have a lot of broken up and little crayons and stuff laying around, so it'd be something that's pretty much free. But anyway, you just go buy the cheapest shotgun shells you can find. You usually get a 100 pack for $23, somewhere in that range right now. And what you want to do is you want to cut this top off. And just however you want to do it. If you want to lay it on the table and do it, feel more comfortable with that, that's fine. But this is just what works for me. You just want to cut that lip off. And it's going to allow you to get to your shot. Pour that out. And just find some kind of little metal pan of some type. And I'm just using candles to heat it up. It ain't got to get hot, like 120, 30 degrees, and wax and melt. You don't want it any hotter than that, because you don't want to start trying to melt the plastic when you pour it back in. And now that I got my shot out, I can finish cutting this up. You know, cut too much, that's okay. So, once you got that out, and I've already done a few here, you just take your shot mixed with that wax. Pour it in, pour it in. And you're gonna make a little mess, so if you're doing this on a nice table, you don't have to do it outside. It's nice out today, so I thought I'd do it out here. Some wax in there. And don't overfill it, and don't worry about trying to get all the shot back in it. You're not gonna get all of it back in it, because you don't have the, you're not going through the reloading process where you're going to be able to crimp that shut and shove the shot down. It's just sitting there, so don't worry about it if you drop a few. You're not going to get them back in anyway. And you just fill it up. So this, you don't have to have a reloader for this. You don't have to have any special skills or knowledge. You know, the powder and everything's already in there. You don't have to worry about it being too hot or doing damage to your gun, because it's a factory load. You're just pouring their load out, adding wax in it, and putting it right back. So there's nothing different than the way it was before. You don't want any shot sticking out. Cap them off. And as this wax dries, it may recede a little bit, and you may want to top it back off. And then just clean it up. So I got some that run down on this one. And anyway, there is a slug. 4-man slug, or an economy slug, or in a pinch, or whatever, or just have fun. Like I say, you can get about 100 rounds of this for, I want to say it's $22 or $24, somewhere in that range, for a 100 pack. And you just want to get just a dove load, bird load, nothing special. Because if anybody's bought any buckshot or slugs especially, you know they're expensive. But these were just game loads. This is a hodgepodge of stuff that was laying around. The box had different kinds in it. But anyway, all you need is a spoon, a little container. Like I said, and I just used some tea candles. The wind was blowing my candles out, so I put cardboard around it, and didn't have to put them in that container. Like I said, the wind was blowing, so I popped some holes in some cat food cans and stuck them in there to protect it from the wind. And I pretty much got all the shot in there, but there's still a little bit left over. But like I say, don't worry about trying to get every single one of them in there. You're not going to, and you don't need to, because it'll you can't push it down like with this factory crimp that we cut off. That will push it down and hold it in, so you don't have that. But anyway, I'd never heard of this, never seen it, and just thought it was a really neat thing. So I thought I'd do my little presentation, and I'm going to do some live shots here in a minute and add that to the film or the little video and show you what they'll do. Don't have any factory loads, so we use a slug. Loaded myself. We'll have something to compare it to. This is a normal slug. One of these logs here show what a slug is. I really thought it was more than that. I was thinking it would go through, but there's the impact of a regular slug. Now these wasn't loaded hot. They're probably about the same velocity, about 1,200 feet per second. They didn't penetrate through. It did try to split the wood. But anyway, saving those for the next. They actually did about what I figured. I figured the wax, once it hit this first jug, not that piece out there, that it would spread out. So it's shot in that. And it did. Now a slug would go on through. So it ain't quite the same, but pretty devastating. Wax load into the one of the pieces of wood. See what that does. Alright, it's trying to split it on through. Still didn't penetrate all the way through, which I didn't figure it would. I mean, pretty big piece of wood. As you can see here where it hit. Probably dig that regular slug out now. But on this piece, that was your normal solid slug. And there's some pieces. Yeah, I can about start digging out pellets. But anyway, there's your black slug. So that was just the cheapest ammo you could buy, 12 gauge. Cut it open, mixed it with the wax, poured it back in, and there I am, hitting about the same spot. I mean, I wasn't aiming for any particular spot, just, you know, at it. I believe the accuracy is probably good to, what I've seen online, 6-8 inch pattern, maybe at 40-50 yards. That's good enough. After that, it really starts wobbling and getting out, but that's, you know, punched a hole. And if I shot that with just regular shot, it just peppered it instead of concentrating all the shot right here, you know. And I'm not sure, I need to get some sheetrock. That's one of the reasons I shot through these water jugs. I'm wondering how good a defensive load it would be for in the house. So after it penetrated 1 or 2 layers of sheetrock, would it disperse like this? And if it does, it would actually make a really good home defense round. If not, really the birdshot is your best bet for home defense inside the house. That way you don't want buckshot or a regular slug for home defense if you got kids and other family members, because when you shoot, it ain't gonna stop. It's gonna go through walls, and you don't want to shoot your kid or whatever, wife, or other family members. So I was hoping the pieces of wood would bust up. That's why I put those out there, but they didn't, so that's okay. But we're still seeing a good idea of what they do. It stays together. And it is going to disperse and just, you know, once it hits something, but you're holding all those shot in just a little tiny spot until it hits. So it's a pretty devastating and pretty versatile round. I mean, you go deer hunting with it for that matter, in my opinion anyway. But definitely knockdown power. Penetration, not as much as a regular slug, but you're holding that pattern really, really tight. And that's going to make a difference, depending on what you're shooting at. But it's very inexpensive, and that was the main reason I made this. And plus fun. I got plans to blow up a lot of shit with it. Anyway. And as you can see, even though I'm shooting, the damn chickens and guineas have got to come out here, so I guess I'm going to hold off for now because they won't get out of the way. I always got to see what I'm doing. Don't matter if I'm shooting guns, whatever, they out here. Me and my buddy was shooting at that old tiller the other day, and the damn guineas was running to see what we were shooting at. Well, couldn't get them out of our firing lane, just about. Anyway, my little update and playing around with guns and cheap reloads.